Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's Sunday the 15th, 14th, and we're headed up north of Seattle, almost to the border of Washington and Canada. And I was having a long conversation with my gal. And it was mainly a free flow of ideas. And it got me thinking to the title of this particular video here: inspiration requires perspiration. So that's part of the subjects or the conversation that we'll have today, but it'll be a bulk of that. And yeah, it's gonna be good. I'm glad you're here. So we'll sit tight for a second. I know it's Sunday and some folks are at church today, which, praise the Lord, God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. Inspiration requires perspiration. That is the title. Inspiration requires perspiration. Otherwise, you lose the sense of it. Have you ever had those times? Have you ever had those times where you felt this sense of uplift and feeling like you wanted to go out and do something and to accomplish something? You wanted to attempt to do something? Or you wake up in the morning and you've had a dream that it moved you to the point where you wanted to take notes, but you forgot. Or you've woken up in the middle of the night and something struck a musical chord in your brain and in your synapses that really encouraged you, but by the time you completely forgot it. Have you had those times? Have you had those times? Okay, so let me challenge you in this particular thought. When you are feeling inspired, something struck a chord within you, and it encouraged you, and you failed to take action, and then before you know it, you forgot the thing. You're being inspired is the lighter sparking the fuse. When you're feeling that way, and when you've got one of those moments, you've got to capture that moment, and you have to do something with that particular moment. Now, anytime that I've been inspired and I've not taken action, I've failed to start with. Not because the idea or the inspiration would be massively successful or it would massively fail. GoPro just shut down there. Yeah, so not that it would. Those moments of inspiration are the moments that you only get a short window of time to take action on it. And you take as much action on those moments so you can find out where we go. Because I believe now that one inspired moment could ignite a sequence of events where you're having a continuous flow of inspirational moments, which you can't fabricate, that will lead somewhere or not. But you never really know, because if you don't take action, you'll never really know. But what you do know is when you don't take action, you forget it and you go, man, what was that thing I was thinking earlier? I thought that was really quiet. I would like to get back to that. But we can't get back to it because we lost the moment. And that's why I say you're being inspired also requires you to perspire, to sweat it out, put legs to it, put work to it, put muscle to it, put writing to it, put voice to it, put feet to it, put effort to it, put enthusiasm in it, because those little ignition moments could change the course of our lives, in the direction of our lives and people around us. Or maybe they do. But how would you know if you didn't take action? How would you know if you didn't take action? How would you be able to find out if you didn't act? How would you be able to make an assessment if you didn't move on it? How would you know? Oh, you wouldn't know because you didn't take action. And then it could be one of those just fleeting moments, here for a time and gone with the wind. I mean, you know, you're gonna need to take you'll need to take action pretty much on anything that you attempt. You're going to need to take action on pretty much anything that you're going to attempt. A little accident on the freeway, a little accident on the freeway. All right, so in the moments of being inspired, get up and do something with it, no matter what time it is. Otherwise, keep a pen and paper handy. Keep a notebook in your back pocket, or bring out your digital device. But I would say write it down, because there might be a different connection with it written down in your field guide. These little moments of inspiration are nuggets, little gold nuggets from God. He has touched you to have a brief instance in time where your spirit was tapped for something especially for you, even if it was just for the sheer enjoyment of doing the thing. You see, our moments are only moments, and they're only things that are obviously temporary, but you know, temporary enjoyment is still good, right? I realized in my own life, flying an airplane, it's a temporary thing till I can't do it anymore for whatever reason, or riding the motorcycle, or driving, or even working. The inspired moments, I think, are little glimpses of things that are built within us, and that's why they strike a chord and speak to us. Because we can do something with that. We could work with that. So when you've got a moment and you're sensing some inspiration, and usually the inspiration is pointing in a direction. The inspiration is pointing you to your North Star. If you know where north is, you're already, that's only one data point, but when you know where north is, you already know the directional, the compass direction for south, east, and west. But that one moment of inspiration, that's your North Star, your guiding star, to provide some coordinates and direction, and not a plan, but at least a way to move. But what happens is, sometimes moments of inspiration don't come at convenient times, and we want to get back to it. We want to circle back to it as if it will still be there. But we know it's not, because our experience has already told us that we'll forget about it. I believe in life there's only going to be, I don't know, I don't know the count, but it's not a large count, but there's going to be limited moments of inspiration that we have in life. And I would bet the more times we take action on those little moments, whatever, even if it's just writing it into a notebook, that we would be able to track from that day forward the benefit of that moment of being inspired. Sometimes you can be communicating with somebody else and you sense something welling up in you. And I just had this with my wife. She's in state and she's a health coach. She just got engaged for health and wellness. But we were talking about it's something I thought about when she was out of town, and I sent her a text message and a couple of things. And I said, hey, for the health and wellness, what do you think about doing a destination retreat event? And here's how you can probably do these things. And she caught the vision pretty quickly, because it aligns with just who she is in that realm, but then also just who she is with community of people, improving and wanting to do things in community centered around a certain topic, this being health and wellness. So I mentioned that to her last night, and then I just having a long conversation with her just a bit ago, because that's a moment of inspiration to share, stoking the fire and fanning the flames. You see, when we don't take action, irregardless of the outcome, when we are inspired, we lose twice. We lose from the sense of momentum, and then we lose the significance of that moment. I think we could use this as I think we can use this framework as a little bit of fuel to take the next step forward. What we also have to do, however, is to remove ourselves from the comfortable place, the comfortable zone, where we only move, act, and behave on things that we already know the outcome. Because even in that scenario, even if we believe we know the outcome, that means we already know it all. But the reality is, we only know what we know based upon our own experiences up until that particular point. Who knows what could happen by you moving ahead when your fuse is lit. Somebody could pour water on it. Somebody could stomp it out. Somebody could stop it from igniting that firework. That makes all the difference, or just beautiful sparks. I think we need more beautiful sparks in our lives, and I think we need more things ignited in our lives no matter what they are, and then take action upon them. Because inspiration requires work. And sometimes the work is opening your eyes and just taking the notes. Sometimes maybe it's just making a telephone call. Or trying something that you wouldn't normally try in a regular day. I'm working on a updated proposal for work, and we have some standard templates, and I have a client that signed up for a project, and after we did the project walk, where we go up to the site, we walk around, take a look at it, that when I got back to my desk, I realized I need to do a few different things here, because originally I didn't have all the specs or details, but now I have more details. And as I look back through my notes of the project, some of the pictures I took, I could see how the initial project, which they hired my team for, has another component that's intertwined with it, okay? But my client only hired me for one part. I could put a barrier between the two while we're performing our work. But once that barrier is removed, the work that wasn't performed is going to impact the work that was performed. That's like so part one of the project means we should do part two of the project. But it's up to the client though. So then my inspired moment was to take all of my notes, take my photos, and then work my executive summary in a way that I've got the executive summary lined out. It says, hey, this is part one of the project. It's got some wording in there. Part two of the project should be done because it's going to impact part one. So there's a dollar amount there. And there's a third piece that, as I look at it more, needs to be done as well, even though it's a smaller piece. It's playing a pivotal role in the overall project, because this third piece is there currently, and it's acting as a central service unit to support pieces 1 and 2, to help reduce or eliminate specific issues that without part 3 of the project, part 1 and part 2 are going to have the same issues that they're currently having. So in my inspired moment of kind of working through this, looking at my proposal, how am I going to present the new proposal with the other components and pieces for the long-term benefit of the client, right? So that's my inspired moment. So I was looking at some different templates and structures and setups, and how can I flow chart this out or diagram this out so where I'm walking my contacts through my logical thinking, hey, this and this and this, and here's why, and here's why, and here's why. So what that's basically doing is taking my 5-page proposal, and it will probably make it 10 pages. But my inspired moment came not because of an increased workload, but it came from a sense of pride and service delivery that I'm presenting to the client who's not on site, something that is material benefit to the client. They can always say no, or they could, I don't believe they'll cancel the whole project, But they could say no to these other parts, which I would possibly then I would say, hey, well, yes, you could say no, but if we don't, then the work we do on the first part could be defeated in a short amount of time if we don't do parts 2 and part 3 for here's the specific reasons why. And part 3 is there currently to address the same issue. But if we don't deal with part 3, we're going to introduce the same issue into a new part 1 and part 2. That's my inspired moment. How do I craft the proposal so it's thorough, but then also bring it down to, I guess, an executive summary and a summary pricing sheet for those components. See, that's my inspired moment at work. How do I do this so it makes sense? And there's no guarantee that they're going to say, yeah, they're going to do it. There's no guarantee on that. And that's okay, even though I'm putting in the extra work to present it, because I want to convey that when you're working with me, I'm going to bring full solutions. I'm going to bring full solutions based on the information I'm given and the information from being at the project site. Yeah, my regular job stuff. Because it's important for me that I provide a good service and do a good job and provide the information that they're not going to know, nor are they going to make the connection because they're not on site. And it only occurred because I went on site and I visibly saw these things. And I'll report back once I resubmit my proposal. And honestly, what it does is it takes a 5-digit proposal and turns it into a 6-digit proposal. 5 digits, that's in your tens of thousands, your 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000. Your 6-digit is your 100, 200, 300,000, just for reference. But my moment of inspiration was, how do I convey the details to somebody that's not there, so when they look at it, it's not confusing, the pieces make sense because they're part of the same puzzle, and they also understand that my value add opportunity as their outside person is to bring information and deliverables so they can make a decision. See, that's my inspired moment. I could very well leave all things as is and not touch anything, and still keep the 5-digit dollar amounts in sales. And I get to earn a small commission every time I generate, or when I bring projects in. And that's helpful for me too, because on my 5-year millionaire, I've got a lot of ground to make up to become a millionaire in 5 years. But I want to do it in a manner that's meaningful to me and helpful to others around me. And along the pathway, helping others look at where they are, where they want to go, and how possible is it to help bridge the gaps. How possible is it to help bridge the gaps? How do you bridge the gaps? Well, bring the information up front for those that aren't there, present it in a manner that logically makes sense and that they're intertwined. And that's without putting any pressure to force it. You know, because people are going to do what they're going to do. It's like if you go get your, you have an issue with your car, you take it in to get it diagnosed, and they give you a few things to pay attention to. But you ask, well, I see the 4 things you're recommending. Is everything required at this particular moment? Well, no, that one piece is not required, but if you wait a little bit longer, it's going to cost you another $200 or $300 more The reason why is when it's in now doing this other work, it's not much more to get over here because we've already done all the, we've already performed all the base work. So your moments of inspiration requires you to act upon it, even if it just fizzles out. Because in training your mind to move in that manner, you set yourself up for more quantifiable small wins. And look, the win is just taking the action. Now, you can look at all of these inspired moments, and you know what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about every thought and every whim of an idea that enters your mind. I am not referring to any of those things. I'm talking about those few moments that you're like, oh crap, yeah, I can do that. I'm talking about those moments. Oh yeah, that makes sense. I'm talking about that moment. Oh yeah, if we spend another 10 minutes on the front side, it's going to save us an hour on the back side. Moments of inspiration. Now, when we have those, I believe our challenge will be is thinking we need to tell everybody about them. We need to communicate that to everybody around us. Oh, hey, I had this thing, I had that thing. But you don't need to do that because you don't need validation from 100 people when you are feeling inspired. I know we want to have community of people around us and have people that are cheering us on. But the fact of the matter is people are busy doing their own things, trying to cheer themselves on. We have a hard time cheering ourselves on. So when you're inspired, write it down quickly. Take action almost immediately or as soon as feasibly possible. You got to take action. Whatever that little thing might be. You take action and you get to the point where you go, okay, yeah, this isn't for me. This is not working the way. This is not working to my liking. Hey, that happens. That happens quite often, actually. Inspiration requires perspiration. Otherwise, your thoughts and ideas expire. See, if we're breathing life into something, we got to breathe into it, and we have to move. And maybe it's a major thing. Maybe that one moment is your moment. That's your opportunity for greater input into your world. That could be your vocational, your work world. That could be your family life world. That could be the city in which you live. All of these things, right? Those moments in time are fleeting, and we don't get them that often. So when we have them, capture it, take action. Now, as we're taking action, what is a good practice? What's a good practice when we're taking action? Your effort and your enthusiasm. Energy, effort, enthusiasm. When you're activating that inspirational moment, your energy, effort, and enthusiasm is the fuel to move you in the direction based on that moment, right? And look, you may begin going that direction, and you're starting to do those things, and you're starting to figure some things out, and then you go, yeah, it's not for me. I don't want to do this. Then just stop. It's far more valuable to take action upon the inspired moments and pursue them out to a degree to where we go, yeah, I don't want to do this. And you just stop. That's a better thing than to let the inspired moments escape That's better than to let the inspired moments to escape. The inspired moments are free. Just because they come up, but they're not free in the sense of what you've had to experience and to put out there in the world to receive it back, right? Every inspired moment that we have is a reflection of the work we've already put on display. And now we're seeing something, maybe in a vision, in the inspiration, we're seeing it back. We're seeing it come back to us. We're seeing it come back to us. We're seeing the inspired moments come back to us. I don't want you to lose that moment. I don't want you to lose those inspired moments. I don't want to lose any more of my inspired moments. Just think of all those little moments as little gold nuggets from God, like an Easter egg that we can go out and hunt them down and see if we land on a vein. That's those moments. I'm not necessarily a big motivational type. I like motivation. I have motivation, but like to get in a room with a bunch of people to get fired up about something, because I need to attach my energy to not an outcome, but to a workout, to a flow, to a rhythm, to an idea for a benefit, you see. That's what I need to do. I need to attach that to an outcome. Those inspired moments is not going to get me there. I'm a runner, been running for maybe 10 years now. And when I'm running, motivation is not going to keep me running. Inspiration towards a direction and a process and growth is what keeps me going. Your inspired moments are limited and they're fleeting, and I want you to capture those moments and take massive action towards that moment. Lean into the moment. There we go. Lean into the moment, because you'll find something that you may not have seen before, something that you've not experienced before. You'll find something that is way more meaningful than you could put your finger on. You'll find something that ends up being special for you and people around you. You could find something through your energy, effort, and enthusiasm in those inspired moments that continuously keep you moving forward. That help you identify, help you codify parts of your life that are important. Parts of who you are as just a living, breathing person that are important. Those inspired moments are that I think they are that weighty. They are that beneficial. I think those inspired moments are glimpses of the nature of God. I think those inspired moments are glimpses of the nature of God. Other than the created world. That's why they're so special. Because where else could you get a sense of the fabric of time, where this little sliver talks to your mind because you've not seen it before. See, that's why writing it down is that important. What inspirational things, like when you think of something and you have a sense of inspiration, what is it that you're going to do with it moving forward? What is it what action are you going to take? Is it, nah, it's not worth anything. That's garbage, that's junk, that's nothing. I'm really excited to see where this goes, even for me. And there's the built-in anticipation of taking action on your inspired moments, because you can be excited about the process of where it's going, even if the far side isn't a specific result that you were hoping or thinking you would receive. But you're in the process of moving within that inspired form to find out. You're in the process to find out. And maybe the reality is of the inspired moments is who you become in the process of walking them out. Jim Rohn says, he's passed away, late great Jim Rohn, excellent communicator, conveyor of thoughts and ideas. You know, he says become a millionaire not for the money, but who you become in the process. And that, doesn't that sound exciting? Who do you become in the process? Who is the person you're going to meet in the future when you look at the mirror and having gone through this process, whatever that process is, ignited by an inspired moment, and walked it all the way through with good energy and good effort and fantastic high level enthusiasm. Who's that person going to be? That's the guy I want to meet in 5 years on the 5-Year Millionaire. Who's that guy? Because I suppose Look, I got a long way to go. I have a long way to go. Okay, but who's that guy going to be? Is he going to be somebody that I can be proud of? Can we be proud of ourselves? Can we be proud of where we've come from, where we've arrived to, who we've met along the way, and the person we become? Maybe that's the purpose of your inspired moment, is who you become in the process in the future. You know, if we're doing these things and moving in the inspiration, I think we could almost be assured that the person we meet down the line is somebody we would want to continue meeting over and over and over again. Maybe that's just a year. Maybe that's only 6 months. For me, 5 years. What if our inspired moments are those little things? Is that moment in time that the whole course and trajectory of our lives changes in such a significant manner that the benefits accrue to more than just you and your immediate family, that benefits accrue to others because they have, in some regard, shared time and space with you. That's good stuff. Those are the things that cannot be purchased. Those are the things that I don't believe you can fake. You see, we've got a lot of people faking stuff. And I'll tell you right now, in my channel already, I'm not faking anything where I'm at. Obviously, I'm not sharing every intimate detail of my life, but I'm sharing bits and pieces of a specific direction, the 5-year millionaire. And I'm talking about that in the context of a few different things. Work, savings, investments, which my only investment currently is company 401k, which, okay, it's not everything. I'm behind the 8 ball on that. I got a lot of makeup to do, but that's what it is. Within the last 3 years, 22, 23, and 24, I've earned over $400,000 as a W-2 employee, and that pretty much burnt it all. So my inspired moment is this next guy that I'm going to meet in 5 years. What is he going to be like, and will he be proud of himself? And I'll say yes, because what I'm noticing now is my energy, effort, and enthusiasm has a pathway that it's leaning into. And within my community of people, men, in your 50s, and you're trying to do something different, trying to learn something different, from financial literacy to work and to relationships. And some adventurous stuff, flying the airplane and riding the motorcycle. But that's all a part of my makeup. And there's some other things that we'll get into later, just some other things of interest. But the central theme of what I'm talking about is the inspired moments and taking action. And that's why I've posted probably 25 or 30 videos in the last 6 months. Some of those are shorts, and a few of those are long form, more than 10 minutes, because of inspired moments. Now, I will say this: having had these car talks, these car conversations, pretty much at a time, one subject, I'm learning that I'm not a half bad guy. I got some issues I got to work out, but that's all of us. But I've got some things that are valuable to say, and I could appreciate that. It's not that I'm the only one that has value in what I communicate, but I have some I have some thoughts and ideas and viewpoints about things in my own life. That's from an inspired moment. Man, I'm excited to be with you guys and kind of talk this through and walk this out with you guys. I like to hear some of your inspired moments. Let's hear it at some point. Put them in the comments, and I'll keep ferreting out my own mind on things of this nature. I'll ferret out my own mind how I truly think about some things, and to hear myself speak those out. Because at some point, I'm really going to say, well, Chad, that was a dumb idea. Because I have some self-reflection, and I'm sure you do too. But at least sometimes some of the dumb ideas, at least sometimes are fun or funny, one or the other. One or the other. Keep working hard, folks. Pursue your dreams and goals. Take your inspired moments, make and pursue them. Write them down. Take massive action. Because who knows? Maybe that's the one thing that'll. Maybe that's the one thing that puts you in line for the next step, in progress into the next step, in proximity to where you want to go, or to the person you needed to meet, or to the reconciliation that you needed to have. Maybe you being inspired changes your life. But I'll tell you what, not taking action, your life won't change. You'll just be right where you are, losing all these gold nuggets from God about losing all these little gold nuggets from God about moving forward. Well, glad you were able to hang out for a little bit. Like, subscribe, share, whatever. Leave a comment, much appreciated, and see you on the next one. Cheers.